As you know all too well, it can be a violent world.
I don't know what you mean. And I prefer you call me Miss Price. I'm not a child anymore.
Are you going to work in your mother's shop?
No. This place is filled with too many bad memories. Entering it or staying inside is an effort now.
What will you do then?
I don't know yet. I think I'll leave London. But since I inherited some money, maybe it's time for me to grow up and go.
How have your neighbors reacted to this tragedy?
Nobody came to the funeral. Everyone's afraid of death and contagion.
You were alone at your mother's funeral?
It wasn't really a funeral. Her body was thrown with other corpses in a freshly dug hole. And I dropped a rose onto her.
Are you going to be all right without your mother here? Financially, I mean.
I have inherited all of my mother's money. She always told me how poor we would be if we stopped working. But as always, she took care of everything.
She lied to you then?
Maybe she did. But that was for my own good. My mother loved me, Dr. Reed. Her will testifies to that.
How do you really feel, Miss Price?
I feel like I'm on the edge of a cliff. Fear of being alone is pushing me toward the void. The weight of unanswered questions incites me to jump. I feel lucid.
Do you remember now what your mother did to you, Carol? Do you realize how badly she treated you?
My mother was a sick person who was afraid to be alone. Her whole life, she looked at me like the embodiment of all her fears and failures.
Your mother claimed she cared for you, but you were just a vessel for her disease. I even suspect she didn't see you as another person, but only as an extension of herself.
Perhaps you're right. Perhaps my mother was a monster. Or a victim of some mental illness. All I know is I can't imagine my life without her.
Do you need my med-
Oh, please, sir.
Don't be-
Thank...
Goodbye.
But they will not be forgotten. Doctor?
Do you need medical-
I'm afraid I'm out.
You'll quit-
Thank you.
What are you-
Well, my two missing persons cases are...
I was lucky enough to find them.
Why do I still have...
I don't think... Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Don't know what. Like a secret or a plot I must reveal.
How are you, Mr.
Not well, Dr. Reed. May I ask for your assistance?
How can I help?
I met this girl, Christina, who came to England to raise money for her family to join her here. She's been savagely murdered.
I see. What do you want from me?
I want to find the butcher who did this. I want him exposed and hanged.
How many suspects do you have?
Anyone could have done it. Speaking of which, why are you in Whitechapel in the first place?
I'm a doctor, remember? I'm investigating the flu. How it is spread, and how it can be contained.
Don't take it personally, Dr. Reed. You know I had to ask that question.
So, you finally realized you loved Christina.
Yes. But she will not be forgotten. No. I will tell her story.
As cruel as it sounds, I fear she may already be forgotten.
No. The whole world will learn about Christina Popper. And all those poor girls forced to work the streets to pay rent or have a hot meal.
Why are you so concerned?
First, I just wanted to ask her questions, but our relationship got more personal.
How do you expect to find Christina's murderer?
All I know is, if I don't investigate, no one will. Christina will be added to the long list of flu victims.
You are taking a risk with this investigation. Are you aware of that?
I'm not the kind of man who looks away when faced with injustice. Christina's death will not stay unpunished.
Perhaps some mysteries should not be uncovered. Abyssus abyssum invocat, says the proverb. The deep calls to the deep.
He who sups with the devil should have a long spoon. As luck would have it, I have a strong stomach too.
Do you need assistance?
That would be nice of you, Doctor. Who knows what I may have...
If you...
Thank you, sir. Now that I die, no one will tell of the tragic fate of poor Christina Popper of Whitechapel.
then go to hell!
I told you the path to Whitechapel was safe. Glad you made it, Miss Swanborough.
Dr. Reed? Is that you? I did not hear you approaching.
How have you been since we last met?
How do you think I am? I'm blind. I'll never see again.
How do you feel, Miss Swanborough?
I'm blind. How do you think I feel? Did you return here to mock me?
But I was the one who helped you back there.
And why exactly were you at Mason's house at that moment? A famous doctor like you in Whitechapel. There is something not quite right about you, sir.
I thought perhaps with what has happened to you, you might have learned a modicum of courtesy.
I may be blind, but I'm no fool, Dr. Reed. Your little game will not work with me. I can sense something strange about you.
Has someone offered to help you?
Of course not. But who cares? I don't expect charity. Why should anyone help me if I'm no use to them?
Perhaps they're more indifferent than resentful. Maybe they're just waiting for you to make amends.
I won't ask anyone for help. The Swanboroughs don't beg.
What are you going to do now? Do you have any plans?
With my brother dead and my sight lost, this is the end of Swanborough Cordial. That's all I had. What hope is there now?
What happened in that laboratory? How did you lose your sight?
I thought I could make a new batch of our family remedy myself. I knew the recipe. But this vapor appeared suddenly and burnt my eyes.
Why did you do it? Chemicals can be incredibly dangerous.
I had seen Mason do it countless times. I thought I could process it myself and keep the family business running.
Are you that greedy?
It was nothing like that. I was just trying to complete my brother's work. But I don't have his skill.
Loretta, why did you feel so guilty about your brother?
Last year we had a stupid row. He pushed me. I pushed back and his head hit the bench. Mason never saw her again.
One way or another, you and your brother were going to pay for your crime. This is poetic justice, Miss Swanborough.
Spare me your lecture, Dr. Reed. This is neither the time nor the place.
Farewell, miss.
A little coin for a poor life.
Fancy bu-
You never... Right then.